Hey everyone, I'm John Lynn, the founder and chief editor at Healthcare IT Today, and we're excited to bring you another in our series of interviews with top leaders in health IT. And our guest today is Alex Lebrun. He's co-founder and CEO at Nabla. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks, Ren. Thanks for having me. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, maybe I should have said bienvenue, since he comes all the way from France, and I appreciate him staying up late for this. But hey, Alex, before we dive into Nabla, your solution, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you created Nabla.
So 20 years ago, I fell in love with a chatbot, AI chatbot called Sibel, and I decided to spend the rest of my engineering life working on this kind of AI assistant. I started a first startup called Virtuos doing AI assistant for customer service. And 10 years later, this company was acquired by Nuance Communications.
Okay.
So I started to work at Nuance in San Francisco, and I discovered the healthcare world using Nuance products. And I saw, wow, there is so much need, so many things to be done in this area. My next startup after Virtuos was acquired by Facebook. So then I spent 4 years doing AI research at Facebook AI Research,
Wow.
where we developed very powerful ambient assistant technologies. And 4 years ago, I left Facebook with a small team to apply this to the healthcare world, so back to healthcare. And this is how we started Nabla and our ambient AI assistant called Copilot.
Did you say 4 years ago you started Nabla and left Facebook?
Sure, yeah, we took it took a lot of time to work on this product, and uh, our background initially is more AI engineers than physicians, and we decided to actually create our own primary care digital clinic in order to be the first user of our product.
Wow.
It's very hard to build a product if you don't use it,
Sure.
and especially in healthcare, where for privacy, security, you cannot access data, you cannot. We thought, okay, let's have an in-house clinic so that we can develop this tool for us. And when we think it's ready, then start to sell the tool to the outside world. And this is what we've done.
Wow, what an amazing story. And I actually the closest I've found is there was a VR guy who went to med school to then build a VR solution for healthcare. You're the first person I've seen that started a clinic to be able to understand the product. That's really fascinating. So talk to us. So yeah, for those that don't know what Nabla is, what is the Nabla solution?
So Nabla Copilot is trying to help physicians by doing everything they don't like to do. And when you look at how physicians spend their time today, at least 50% is spent on administrative or clerical tasks. They hate to do that, writing documentation, updating the EHR, doing a lot of paperwork. And the goal of our assistant called Copilot is to really fully automate that with AI. So we are not trying to do. Actually, when we started, we also wanted to do the diagnostics and more medical tasks, and then we realized it's a bad idea because it's not what doctors waste their time on. They love to do that; they do it really well. I think it's a bad idea for an AI to try to do that. Let's focus on what they don't want to do. And so after a while, we decided to really focus on these administrative tasks, including clinical documentation, so that doctors can focus on providing care and focus on the patients. So our company motto is enjoy care again, because this is what we want to
Nice.
help physicians with.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've covered this ambient clinical space a lot, and that's exactly the hope, right, of doctors is get rid of the mundane tasks that I don't want to do, but I have to do, right? So how does this solution compare to things, other similar solutions in the market? I think they're similar, like Nuance DAX, DAX Express, Suki to some extent. AWS Health Scribe just came out, ambient healthcare, on point. Yeah, I could go on and on. It's becoming a crowded space, but talk about how it compares to others in the market.
So we really think our solution, is faster, safer, better, and cheaper. And I try to explain. So first, the speed is very important. We don't have any human in the loop. unlike some of the solutions you mentioned, as you know, if you put one human in the loop to QA or to finalize the note, it breaks the real-time premise, which is very important because physicians want to get done with charting at the end of the consultation and forget about it. The time between the end of the consultation and when the chart is closed is very dangerous because if something happens in these few hours, the physician can be liable. And it's also very much easier for the physician to close the chart when they still have all the context in mind. And so we currently our node production time is about 20 seconds, and we are aiming to full real time, like less than 2 or 3 seconds to generate the node. And I think so. Some of the company you mentioned have actually some human scribes working on the note as well. And so the turnover time, maybe a few hours or even 24 hours, I think it's a completely different product because it's not real time and it's very expensive. So we are fully from the beginning, we are fully automated, fully AI based. And I think because we use proprietary large language models or LLMs, I think our production time is much faster than some of the real-time competitors. Then the second criteria is the safety. We have a very, very simple position that we don't store any data. So we don't store the audio, we don't store the text transcript, we don't store the note. So as soon as the note has been pushed to the EMR, we are a stateless machine. We don't know anything anymore. And I think all the companies you mentioned, not only they store this data, and some of them even pretend they own the note. They have the right to use it for training. We think it's a very bad idea because this information is very, very private. It's a conversation between a physician and their patient, and so we don't store it. And we think it's very compelling to our customers that it's very simple, very, very safe. And then in terms of node quality, we are very close to our customers. We have a community of physicians. We really have a product-led, bottom-up growth where we, instead of trying to sell to enterprise directly, we try to make it very easy for individual physicians to try our product for free. There is zero setup, zero onboarding. You don't have to call sales. You can go on nabla.com and try it in 5 minutes. And owing to this, we have a very close relationship with our users. They send us a lot of feedback and we process all this feedback. And I think over the last 2 years, we've fine-tuned our product a lot because of this very close relationship with the community. And so it's our only product. We do only this. We are obsessed with generating the right note. We do nothing else. And I think after years of feedback, it makes a difference. So the average note rating we get is 4.5 on 5. We get a lot, again, almost 10% of the note we generate, we get some natural language feedback from the physician. So they rewrite, okay, very good, or you missed that, or I prefer to have more details in HPI in this case, and this is automatically processed by our engine. So I think the quality of our note is really good. And the last thing is the price. We are much cheaper than our competitors because we are a very lean company. Because first we don't have enterprise sales. I am the salesperson. We are a 40 people company. 90% of them are AI engineers. And we do support as well ourselves. We are very, very lean. We have our own large language models. We have our own speech-to-text engines. And because of all this, we can be very aggressive on pricing and have a very accessible product. And I think to make this product, to spread it to everybody, it needs to be more affordable than it is today. And we are trying to push for this.
Yeah, ironically, that's how I found you. Is a doctor said, "Oh, you can go try this for free. Just go to their website and try it." So obviously that marketing approach worked for that doctor to be able to go and test it, which I think is a unique offering. I think it's also interesting when you say there's no human in the loop. We've seen an interesting evolution there and discussion, right? Because you're right, a lot of them are using backend scribes, but the only human in the loop is the doctor. So that's the other one. Many doctors are like, wait, so no human will. The doctor is still reviewing the note. So there's that human, and then there's humans that receive feedback from the doctor to improve it. Is that harder for you since you're not storing any information to be able to improve the algorithm, or is it the feedback from the doctors that helps you do that, or I think that's interesting. That would be the argument I think some people would make for storing the info is, hey, this helps us improve the algorithm going forward.
Yeah, of course, it would be much easier for us as engineers to store everything and train on it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a natural tension between reassuring your customer and making sales easy, and and salespeople want this, and then you have more data for the engineers.
Yeah.
Engineers, data scientists, they want that, and I think there is a natural tension in the company between these two things. We decided to put customer first and by default not store anything. So to do that, we initially to build our first model, we actually recorded in partnership with some doctors and with full patient consent 30,000 consultation
Okay.
ourselves. So not our customers' consultations, but ours. So using these 30,000 consultations, we build the first model, and then on a day-to-day basis, when a physician decides to send feedback to us, they have the option to attach some part of the transcript or the note, but they make it on an opt-in basis, consultation on consultation per consultation, so they know exactly what they share, and we can use this to further train our models. But they fully control what they want to share or not, and there is no by default use of their data.
Interesting. I mean, a very European approach, I think, to privacy. So that I think many doctors appreciate. So
Yeah, some US customers told us, okay, I chose you because there is RGPD, GDPR, sorry, in Europe, and we know that in Europe you take data very seriously, and so for the first time of my life, I saw GDPR as a positive thing because it is a problem for us forever. We are
yeah,
always
it finally helped.
and finally we saw the other side of the coin.
Yeah, no doubt. There's many in healthcare in particular that value it, so that makes sense. So walk us through, what does the workflow look like for a clinician? Are you bringing in a phone? Are you using a laptop with microphones? Like, how are you capturing the audio? What's the workflow look like?
So for in most cases for in-person consultations, it's on a phone. It's actually it's not even an app. It's a web page
Okay.
that you can open on a phone on any browser, and they put their phone on the table in the exam room and press start, and then at the end, we so the phone is paired to the computer with the EMR, and it will feed the note to the EMR on the computer. So there is no specific device. We use their phone and their computer with the EMR they are using. And for a video consultation, we have a Chrome extension
Okay.
that will insert itself into the whatever web-based video consultation tool they use, and we'll get the patient audio through this. We get the physician audio through the microphone, and we'll same generate the note, and then through the Chrome extension, the API will feed the EMR. So we are not trying to be an EMR, of course. We integrate with EMRs and feed them.
Yeah, it's funny you say that about the telehealth. I wrote an article right as COVID was hitting and it said, if I'm a telehealth company, I go find ambient clinical voice and attach it to to differentiate yourself, because you already have the audio transcript right there ready. You can do the note automatically. So that's interesting. You're approaching the telehealth side as well. Speaking of the EHR, how do you integrate with the EHR? Do you work with all EHRs? Is it a bot on top of it? Are you integrating directly with it? How are you approaching kind of the EHR integration and getting the note into the EHR?
So we have different levels of partnerships with EHR. So some EHRs we are going to announce very soon have selected us as the main, the built-in ambient AI solution.
Okay.
And so in this EHR, we may even be like white label. You start a consultation, you get all the features inside the EHR directly. So we
Gotcha.
love this and so they sell Nabla as an option, and we share revenues on that. So in this case, we are fully integrated in the EHR, including in the UI. This is ideal solution. Some other EHRs are more have decided to have like an open marketplace strategy where they will allow different ambient AI solutions, and users can select the ones they want to use. And so you have some integration as well, but it's less integrated. It's less. You can still choose the one you prefer. I think so we are integrating with many different EHRs in this with this strategy of a marketplace. So for instance, Epic has this approach. They have a long-standing partnership with Nuance, but they will also partner with a few startups like us to enable the ambient AI inside Epic. And then our last resort solution is there is no API. Let's say a very old EHR with no API, no way to integrate. We'll use our Chrome extension to fill the EHR with a UI path strategy, like using the browsing interactions to fill. It works. It's not the best way to do it, but it's still very efficient when we have no other solution.
Gotcha. And are you inserting into the EHR the granular data elements? It's not just, back in the old days, they'd slap I remember one EHR vendor had all the granular data elements, and they were just the front end for another EHR. And then they gave them all the granular data elements, and then the other EHR just wanted a PDF because they couldn't accept the granular data elements. So how are you? I guess it probably depends on the integration, but are you able to get to that granular level?
Yeah. So internally, we structure our information with ICD-10. We have the CPT codes. We have, and so using these ontologies, the goal, is to fill the structured data into the EHR. So if vaccines, allergies, histories, you want to fill the right value, structured value in the EHR. You're not interested in just a full block of text. So this is what integration is about.
Yeah. I always love asking the companies in this space and hear their response as far as, does the clinician have to change the way they're talking in the exam room? Obviously they have to start the recording and whatnot. That's an easy change, right? But do you feel like they have to change what they're saying in the exam room to really make this work?
Very interesting. I just spent 2 weeks in California attending to hundreds of consultations myself, with patient consent to see that.
Uh-huh.
And initially, the physician, they don't need to change the way they speak during the consultation. What they realize is, for instance, if they do some exam and they take, measure your something, temperature, if they don't say it, of course, we have no way to get this information in the note. And so they see a perfect note generated by Nabla Copilot, but this information is missing because they didn't verbalize it. And the next time or next, without, we don't tell them anything, but they start to verbalize more what exams they do to the patient, because they know it will be recorded and understood by the Copilot. And so we see them most of them slowly verbalize more and more the exam, so that the Copilot gets the information, and then they save time because it's already there. They don't have to report it. And the funny side effect is that patients absolutely love it, even if when they don't understand, they hear complicated words. This thing is normal. I'm doing that. This exam, they feel, wow, I have a very serious exam. It's a serious doctor. And so the fact that they slowly verbalize more and more has also a positive impact on the patient.
Yeah. It's fascinating that they self-train that way, because they want to improve the note. And you're right. I think that, one of the biggest benefits of ambient clinical voice that we probably won't recognize, we won't acknowledge, is the impact of patients hearing all of the extra data as well. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and I think many products failed in, healthcare. It's very easy to have good ideas. It's easy to good. It's possible to do products, but what's really hard is to change how physicians work and to insert yourself in an existing world which is very complicated, very interlocked. And I think ambient. I'm just not just talking about Nabla, but ambient AI assistants are I think spreading quickly because they don't require a lot of change in the tools you use. It's an add-on to your existing tool, EMR, or in the way you work. Initially, you don't change anything and you get your note, and then slowly maybe you will adjust a little bit, but it doesn't require to change the way you do consultations. And I think this is unlike previous AI assistants like Suki, which were more structured like Alexa, where you have to give orders, explicit queries to the assistant. And this is a change to the way you work. And I think adoption of this kind of tool was a failure because it's too much change.
Yeah, it's a big change. And the question, though, core to this is, will the AI be able to automate the note creation? And it feels like to me, with the number of companies, including you, is that we're going to get there. That's what seems clear to me. It'll be interesting to see it roll out. I mean, speaking to that, you talked about, you got 4.5 out of 5 stars. How accurate is the solution? How many changes are the doctors having to make when they review the note? I think that's what everyone wants to know. It's like, and that was the problem with, voice recognition when it first started. It was great, but then many doctors were like, well, I got to fix so many things that it screwed up. And then it eventually got to 99% and they weren't fixing it. And it was great. How accurate are you as a solution now, as far as doctors having to change stuff after?
So 95% of the time, they don't need to change anything in the note. And I think 95% was a threshold, where you accept the tool. So it's very, very accurate. We worked a lot to remove hallucinations, to remove things where we don't have enough confidence that they should be in the note. And also one thing we had to do is to make it very personalized. You will never meet 2 physicians who agree what is the best note. And so we did a lot of work to have a template per specialty. So we even have like lactation consultants, psychiatry, cardiology, family medicine. Yeah, there are many different templates just for family medicine to accommodate with every physician habits. And then we have a per physician personalization where we learn what they prefer. Do they want a more extensive HPI, or do they prefer bullet points or full text? And you don't get full adoption until you fit into what every physician is expecting. It's very important. And I think we were not there even 6 months ago. I don't think we were there yet.
Wow. That's interesting to hear about that personalization. And you mentioned specialty. Do you work with every specialty, or how have you approached that?
So our product is self-serve. Anybody can sign up and use it. So we don't control which specialties use it. And then when they start to use it more and more, they send feedback. At some point, we fork the template, like the default template for this specialty, and then the feedback-led improvement, the feedback loop will work on this specialty, and it will evolve. So it's a very organic, natural evolution that it adapts to specialties. So we have people using it with many specialties, and this is not something we drive top down. We just let these things blossoms bottom up.
Interesting. And I imagine it's international as well.
Yeah, so we support English, French, and Spanish. Actually, we build Spanish for the US market, so it's possible to have a Spanish-speaking consultation. We will still generate English notes.
Oh, wow.
We are good in multilingual consultations because of our background,
Sure.
and we'll support more languages soon, but we already have these 3 languages.
Impressive. Well, I'm sure the first question everyone is, that watches this is going to want to know is, where can they go to get the demo to learn more?
I go to nabla.com, so nabla.com, and you can really, after 1 minute, you'll be doing your first consultation for free. You don't even need to create an account. So nothing to do, no data stored, and you can try it. And I think this is better than any marketing or stuff. That's right.
Hey, if you can prove it, you don't need to, right? We all did that with a lot of our personal apps, we went and tried it because it was free, and now it's part of our life. So yeah, that is a good marketing tool. Awesome. Well, Alex, I appreciate you taking the time to share about the solution. As people, in healthcare IT today know, this is one of my favorite areas. So I'm excited to highlight what you're doing. And 6 months from now, I think we'll have even more to talk about because it's moving so quickly. So thanks for taking time to talk with us, and thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you want to find more great healthcare IT content like this, be sure to check it out at healthcareittoday.com or search for Healthcare IT Today on your favorite podcasting application. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks very much.